Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack exactly what is going on behind those fancy corporate reports. Today, we're looking at Carpenter Technology Corporation's latest filing, and let's just say their first quarter results for fiscal year 2026 might have some interesting slides. And if you appreciate getting straight insights from these documents, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we chat about these things all the time, so join us there. Alright, so Carpenter Technology Corporation, a name you might recognize in the materials industry, has just dropped its latest report. They're reporting on their fiscal year 2026 first quarter, and the main event here is their earnings call that happened on the 23rd of October 2025. They've essentially given us a peek at the slides they presented during that call. The big takeaway from this filing is about their financial performance and what that means for the company. They've chosen to share the slides from their earnings call, which is where the real meat of the financial story usually lies. Now, these slides aren't technically considered filed in the same way as the main report, but they're definitely what investors and analysts will be poring over to understand how Carpenter Technology is doing. And that is exactly what we're going to dive into. We're going to look at some of the key numbers and trends shown in those slides. Think of this like getting the exclusive preview of what Carpenter Technology is telling its investors about its financial health. This report is signed off by Timothy Lane, who holds a pretty important role as Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. That tells us these financial figures have been reviewed and approved by the top financial brass. Now, let's get into the numbers. While this filing doesn't contain the full financial tables in the way a 10, Q or 10K might, it points us directly to the slides that do. So imagine we're looking at those presentation slides right now. What are the most crucial figures Carpenter Technology would highlight? They'll likely talk about their revenue, which is the total money they've brought in from selling their products. They'll also be talking about their profit, how much money they've actually kept after paying all their expenses. This could be shown in different ways, like net income, which is the final profit, or perhaps earnings per S-share, which is how much profit is attributed to each individual share of stock. Wednesday also be looking for any major changes compared to the previous year or the previous quarter. For instance, if revenue drops significantly, say by 15%, that could mean they're selling a lot less product or having to lower prices. Conversely, a strong increase in profit could signal that they're managing their costs really well or that their products are in high demand. Let's assume for a moment that the slides show a decent increase in revenue. That's generally a good sign, suggesting demand for their specialty alloys and materials is strong, but we'd need to dig deeper. Is that revenue increase coming from selling more products or from increasing prices? And is that revenue turning into profit? Sometimes companies can increase sales but see their profits shrink if their costs are rising faster. Wednesday also be looking for any mention of operational efficiency. Are they making their products at a lower cost? Are they delivering them faster? These details can be buried within the slides under headings related to cost of goods sold or operating expenses. A reduction in these areas, even with stable revenue, can lead to a boost in profitability. A key area to examine would be their backlog, which is essentially a list of orders that have been placed but not yet fulfilled. A growing backlog is often a signal of future revenue and stability, while a shrinking one can be a warning sign. We'd want to see if their backlog is increasing, decreasing, or staying steady, and what that implies about the demand for their advanced materials in the coming months and quarters. Looking at the broader picture of the materials industry, Carpenter Technology operates in a sector that can be quite cyclical, meaning it is influenced by economic ups and downs. They supply materials for critical industries like aerospace, defense, and energy. So if these sectors are booming, Carpenter Technology usually benefits. Conversely, if there is a slowdown in aerospace manufacturing or oil and gas exploration that can directly impact their sales. What is particularly interesting about Carpenter Technology is their focus on high performance specialized materials. This often means they have strong relationships with customers in demanding industries and can command higher prices than commodity material suppliers. However, it also means they are sensitive to the specific needs and capital expenditure cycles of those industries. For example, a major new aircraft program could significantly boost their business, while a prolonged downturn in defense spending could hurt them. Now, let's think about potential risks and opportunities revealed in these slides. Opportunities might include the growing demand for lighter, stronger materials in aerospace and defense, or the shift towards more electric vehicles which require specialized battery components. Risks could involve intense competition from other material producers, volatile raw material costs, or geopolitical events that disrupt supply chains or impact customer demand in key markets. Based on this filing and the information it points to regarding their earnings call, Carpenter Technology appears to be navigating a complex but potentially rewarding market. The key is whether they are effectively translating their technological expertise and market position into consistent profitability and growth. The details within those slides are critical here, as they will reveal the underlying drivers of their performance. Are they winning new contracts, developing innovative new products, or facing pressures that could hinder their progress? In wrapping up, Carpenter Technology is in a fascinating space. Their performance hinges on technological innovation and their ability to serve demanding industries. While this 8K filing itself is brief, it directs us to the crucial earnings call slides. My take is that these slides are where the real story is. We need to see the actual numbers on revenue growth, profit margins, and maybe even order backlogs to truly assess their direction. If they're showing consistent growth and managing costs effectively, that is a strong indicator. However, any signs of slowing demand in their key sectors or rising costs could be red flags. Alright, that is our breakdown of what this Carpenter Technology filing signals. What is your take on these numbers and what they might mean for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps us out. And subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. And don't forget to check out the Discord in the description to continue the conversation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.